humility and iron fortitude. You need to have fortitude. You have to have bravado. That fortitude, that strength, inner strength, that is iron, like iron, strong like iron. So it is metallic humility and iron fortitude. You will need both in times when storms show up. I can say it's been a really big blessing for me because I didn't know that my work would actually be recognized or win any awards. But as I was saying earlier, when I did Inspired by 40, somehow I had a gut feeling that this work is going to be recognized and would win an award. I didn't actually believe it would win 2 awards, yeah, and my work would win 2 awards. But that said, the African Authors Book Awards invited entries. They are headquartered in Nairobi, Kenya, so I submitted my work for my first 2 books are Out of the Crowd and Inspired by 40. This is Out of the Crowd, and of course Inspired by 40, the award-winning book. So when I submitted, for some reason my gut always knew that Out of the Crowd is going to win because it's a very powerful book. But I didn't know that Inspired by 40 is the one that actually was going to win. Anyhow, so at the Akaba Awards, Inspired by 40 won an award under the Christian Living category for, of course, the quotes. Then Out of the Crowd emerged among the top 6 finalists for the book cover in the Summer Awards 2021. So I actually didn't know that New Vision Group would also, of course, first of all, nominate me among the top 40. Yes, the New Vision top 40. They nominated me for, of course, the work in Inspired by 40 and Out of the Crowd, the impact that it had done and the books had done out there. Whoever read them were so inspired and are so blessed by the work. So later, of course, won the Vision Group Awards, the top 40, under 40 years, most influential Ugandans under 40 years, as among the top 20, because there are 20 male or men winners and 20 ladies or women winners. So as among the top 20 men winners in 2021. It was a privilege and an honor because these awards, of course, helped me, of course, build my credibility as an upcoming author, and that the work I was doing out there was actually impacting lives. These are awards that people had to vote publicly, and of course, a panel of judges to vote and veto all the applicants. So for the Vision New Vision Group Awards Top 40 Under 40 2021, of course, I didn't apply. It is the people who read my work that seconded my name and I got nominated. Then later I emerged among the winners. So it was just a great honor for me because I was so encouraged that the work I'd done and put out there was helping someone and helping lives. That's interesting. Well, to me, it was also a surprise. As I said, I mean, when you write an author work, you do not know where your work is going to go. As I told you, this book, Inspired by 40, is a book that God Himself, when I was praying, told me, please compile that book and write. And remember, I was arguing and saying, I've never come across a book of quotes. Does a book of quotes even really sell? Can it sell? Can it even impact people? Yeah, and as not even purpose to sell it. It was meant to be a free book. So when I put the book out free, I sent it on WhatsApp to people. I gave it away free of charge because I'd put in a lot of work to invest and do the layouts. Of course, it's not cheap to write. You have to pay an editor. You have to also work with the guys who are doing the layouts and design. Of course, you have to invest some money. So when I invested the money and of course the book was to be free, I said, okay, well and good. Let me put it there because, of course, giving to me, I believe giving is divine. So I put it out there and gave it out for free. Anyhow, that said, later, one day I was doing my review of the work, because I will always check on social media where I post a lot of content about the book. So I was searching to see the progress of the work. Of course, I designed a website for it, for my work, so that people can easily know where to get me when they need me. So when I was searching on the internet, I was also surprised. Actually, I did not know, because I've not met Oprah Winfrey. She's not met me. She doesn't know who I am. As I said, I'm just a humble guy in Uganda. So somehow I come across the site, Oprah Daily. I think her editors were compiling work about hope. Remember, I'd said at one time when COVID, I was praying to God. Really, honestly, I was sitting on my bed and praying to God and saying, God, can you please use me? Because I'm a person who's not known by anyone in the world. But use me, because I was so hurt, by the way, by what was going on and what I was seeing. And God had my prayer. So one of my quotes in the book Inspired by 40 about hope was picked by the Oprah Winfrey team, editors, and they compiled 16 quotes that inspire people to return their hope or give them hope during the hardest time. So one of the quotes in this book, true story, it's not a lie. You've asked whether it is a lie, or authors tend to tell lies. No, not me, I don't tell lies. My work can be verified, can be validated. I think the team compiled 16 quotes about hope across the world. There were a number of other authors in there. There was also work for Oprah. I think Oprah had about 4 quotes in that compilation. There was Mariah Carey, there was Desmond Tutu, there was Michelle Obama, and a number of other people I've not come across or known. So one of my quotes was also part of the 16 quotes. It was a privilege and an honor, because the quote that she picked was, hope has wings that make it fly. Hope has wings that make it fly. That's the quote that she compiled and they picked, and they published among the top 16 quotes world over that will give people hope. For me, I believe it was a prayer answer, because God's GPS had located me. Remember, during COVID, I said, God, use me to inspire someone and give them hope. So I don't know how they came across the quotes. Maybe I believe they searched online, because the book is on Amazon. It's on a number of other online platforms. So probably, I don't know, honestly. I have no clue. I have no idea. That's how probably they got the work and they referenced. And the good thing is the citation was done well, because when they cited that quote from my book Inspired by 40, they also gave the reference in terms of the citation, that this is a quote by Richard Mwebesa from the book Inspired by 40. This is the book I've been talking about today. And well, it was a privilege and an honor. So you can go search it. Just type in Hope Has Wings That Make It Fly by Richard Mwebesa. Of course, you'll validate what I'm saying, that indeed Oprah quoted my work. An honor and a privilege that these quotes, indeed, especially the ones of hope, have given people hope and taken them out of hope. How did I write that quote? Particularly, I think one time in my life I was going through very tough times. My background, I come from a place that is quite interesting because of my history and my background. At one time in my family, we got a little bit of challenges as I was growing up. Of course, my parents, before my mom passed on, one of the times I was nursing her in the hospital, I used to sleep on the ground, I used to sleep on the floor. So I hated the smell of hospitals, because in my S4 vacation, that whole year I was in hospital, studying from hospital and going to school. I was in a day school and Entebbe Secondary School. So it was a very tough time for me. And of course, my elder brothers also became so sick and so ill. The family sort of disintegrated at one point. So there was always stress, tension. So most of the times when I was growing up, I'd lost a lot of hope. That quote, when I was writing it, I remembered that time that all I ever had was hope. My mom used to tell me, be hopeful, things will get better. So I realized that when you have hope in your heart, tomorrow, even when the day seems dark, becomes bright, because you have hope that things will get better. So in a way, you get wings, like a bird, and and the wings spread out, and then you get healing in your heart, and then of course you get better. So that's how I got the idea to write, because I did believe hope has wings that make it fly. Because when I got hope back in my heart, I began to fly again. I began to literally feel alive, literally feel like life is coming back to me. So yes, a true story. It's not a bluff. It's not a lie. Oprah quoted the quotable quotes. That's why I call it the book of quotable quotes. So anyone out there can quote the work as long as they give citation and give reference for originality to the author. Anyone out there needs to read the book Inspired by 40, because they will be reignited. It's a book for people who have lost their dreams. I come from a place where dreams have been shattered, where we've witnessed and seen dreams come out of us. Dreams just go out of the window, and there's no tomorrow. There's no hope tomorrow. So for me, I believe anyone who reads this book will be re-inspired, rejuvenated, and reignited. Anyone who's lost their inspiration, anyone who's lost their hope to move on, anyone who sees that things are not going according to their plans or the way they want them to be, anyone out there trying to catch up on life, anyone out there trying to build themselves and better themselves, anyone out there who would want to make the right choices. These are very profoundly well thought out 40 quotes. And someone asked me, why Inspired by 40, and why 40 and not any other number? So I think for me, the whole aspect was I wanted to write this book before I made 40 years, yeah, and write 40 quotes that would inspire, because 40 is a number that is known in the Bible as a number that ushered in a new generation, but also in contemporary times, it is said anybody must achieve most of the things they want to be or who they should be in life before they are 40 years. It's called the fourth floor. So before you hit the fourth floor, you must have put together your priorities in life, at least maybe married, or maybe have your first child or children, or you start a family. So it is an age of destiny. It's a number of destiny. 40 is a number of destiny. So I said 40 quotes about the 4 topics. There are 10 quotes from each, 10 quotes on love, 10 quotes on hope, 10 quotes on lifestyle, and 10 quotes on character. So these 4 pillars, I believe, love, hope, character, and lifestyle, once you put them together and you are prioritizing them correctly, then your life will be much better. So that's the reason I wrote 40 quotes. And I always believe that words are seeds, because we've seen from historical perspectives that all major leaders always used words to inspire others to follow them, but also to inspire others to rejuvenate them and move. I love doing research. I love stories so much. When I even read the Bible, Moses himself used words, because when he was told by God, go deliver my children out of bondage, he came and used words. I mean, people could have believed him or maybe rejected what he was saying, but he used words. He told them, I've come to give you a message, and this message has been given to me by God himself. So the people believed him because he gave them these words of hope, that there was a promised land, yeah, a promised land that is flowing with milk and honey. So they painted a picture of milk and honey in their minds, and they believed him and were willing to follow him. So words are powerful, because words are seeds. That's why I put together these 40 quotes that will inspire anyone out there to believe again and to go for their dreams and dream again. As I've said, I've come from a family and a place where dreams have been shattered, literally. I mean, I mentioned earlier, my elder brothers fell so sick. They came out, I mean, they were very smart, the most brilliant brains I've ever come across. I mean, one of my elder brothers, Stephen, I mean, at the age of 8, knew all the countries in the world, all their capital cities and all their presidents. How he pulled that off, I have no clue, an idea. In their primary school, they were top of their class, getting 4. Of course, my elder brother, Johnny, as well. But they all fell sick and dreams were shattered. So we lost hope as a family at one point, and things were not working according to what we thought and expected. But that said, when I saw this moment of COVID, I was inspired to say, let me put down my work, and maybe this work will help and bring healing to someone out there, and bring healing to a heart, to someone that is hurting. So that's why they should read the book, because this book will transform them, it will never leave them the same. The quotes are, okay, I would say maybe there's a bit of philosophy in the quotes because there's depth in there, but by and large, these quotes will change the way people think and they will help them get better in their lives. The key aspect of the uniqueness in the book lies within the way it is structured, because as I said, I'd never come across a book of quotes in my life. Maybe they are there. I didn't have to benchmark on anyone. It was true authentic thinking and creative thinking for me, because I structured it in a way that, as I'd said earlier, I put the images or the photographs about nature for Uganda, but also put the quotes well arranged in their 4 main topics: love, hope, character, and lifestyle. And the uniqueness about this is a book that you can read within 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, you can finish it, but the quotes in there will never leave you the same. Yeah, they will never leave you the same. They will change you, they'll transform you, they will take you to the next level. I think for me, I'll just read a few quotes from the book. If you'll allow me, just open. Yes, some I know offhand, some I don't remember, but I'll just give you some of the quotes. This quote says, "There is a know and a ledge in knowledge. If you know something, it is enlightenment. You, however, must jump the ledge, which is a tipping point, to apply that enlightenment through action for the knowledge to gain true value." I repeat for emphasis. This is a quote about knowledge. It says, "There is a know and a ledge in knowledge. If you know something, it is enlightenment. You, however, must jump the ledge, which is a tipping point, to apply that enlightenment through action for the knowledge to gain true value." Yes, without action, even if you have knowledge, then your knowledge is useless. It is useless. It is useless. Then there's, I'll just give you the highlight. If you look at the way the images are aligned, just to show you in the camera here, if you look at the way the images are aligned, you see there the ego that is folding itself. It's trying to look. So this quote, where the ego is about identity, says, "Identity is so important that it is ingrained in the very fabric of our existence and within our DNA, that we all seek to be identified, so much that not being identified leaves us hanging in the balance without any foundation, with a possibility of falling into oblivion." All right, I'll give you another quote, and that quote says, "Capacity is alive, and because it lives, it grows. At every age, as you grow, yearn to learn, to earn, and to leverage capacity." I repeat that. Capacity is alive, and because it lives, it grows. At every age, as you grow, yearn to learn, to earn, and to leverage capacity. I mean, this quote is powerful. There's a bit of rhyme in there. I mean, it's poetic. I mentioned earlier, I'm also a poet. This book, Feast of the Nile, is an anthology of poems. So this quote is poetic in its own right. It's talking about capacity as you grow, yearn to learn, to earn, to leverage your capacity as a human being. Okay, so I'll just give, this is the image I talked about, which talks about hope, with a bird here, very pretty bird that is sucking nectar out of the flower. Yes, very powerful, very nice, profound image there about hope. So I'll read you some quotes about hope. Of course, I read again the quote that we read. "Hope has wings that make it fly." That I read. This is the quote that was quoted by Oprah. So I will read another a book about hope. It says, "Winners don't whine. They keep in line with their goals, shine with a design of finesse, and taste triumph like new wine as they keep in fine line." Wow, another poetic frame here, some poetic stuff here. Winners don't whine. They keep in line with their goals, shine with a design of finesse, and taste triumph like new wine as they keep in fine line. Wow, 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 wow. Another quote about hope. It says, living explicit, hopeful, acquire, inquire, and respire are keys to unlock and are bridged to solidifying perseverance. I repeat, living explicit, hopeful, acquire, inquire, and respire are keys to unlock and are bridged to solidifying perseverance. Yes, we agree. Without perseverance, you can never achieve anything. So I think this quote about hope is talking about how do you solidify and cement your perseverance, because you have to keep going and on and on and on and on and moving. So it's saying you have to live explicitly, you have to be hopeful, you have to acquire, you have to inquire, and you have to respire. So there's a bit of rhyming there again. So most of these quotes, by the way, are poetic in their own right. Then I'll give you some quotes about love, maybe 3 quotes about love that you'll enjoy. It says, listen to your heart and learn to decipher the language it speaks. That only you can fathom. Your heart will never lie to you. Wow, wow, wow. I repeat, listen to your heart and learn to decipher the language it speaks. That only you can fathom. Your heart will never lie to you. Yes, true, your heart will never lie to you. There's always that gut feeling inside you that you know this thing is right or this thing is wrong. So your heart will never mislead you, because it is your true north, it is your true compass, it is your true direction as a human being. I love this other one. It says, timing can be a great initiative booster. If you mistime an appointment with destiny, you could end up living your life in another reality. And this was written in the context of marriage. Yeah, when you make a marriage proposal at the wrong time, someone can say no. Yes, recently we saw on social media when someone went and of course surprised maybe his girlfriend, and the girlfriend said no. Probably it was a timing aspect, I don't know honestly, but this quote is about timing, because it says timing can be a great initiative booster. If you mistime an appointment with destiny, you could end up living your life in another reality. Then there's one last one here that says, the most proven way to receive is to be a perpetual giver. Yes, the most proven way to receive is to be a perpetual giver, because you reap what you sow, as the Bible says. Whatever you give, you always reap, and comes back to you shaken down, pressed down, running over, and multiplied to you. If you give hate, you will multiply hate. If you give love, indeed, you'll always become a perpetual receiver, because if you're a perpetual giver, you shall multiply what you give. So it's about love, because you can't give what you don't have. So this quote says the most proven way to receive is to be a perpetual giver. So if you want to receive love, always give love to other people. You will receive it back, and multiplied indeed it shall be. So there's one other perfect one I like, which I will wrap up with here before I go into the last part of the character. It says, purge hatred with love, for hatred stings the person breeding it, where love massages the soul with peace. Indeed, love does massage the soul with peace. Hey, where there's love, there's always peace. If you notice, hey, indeed, where there's hatred, love disappears. The quote says, and I repeat again, says, purge hatred with love, for hatred stings the person breeding it, where love massages the soul with peace. It has been said, when you hate someone, it's as if you're drinking poison yourself and you expect the other person to drop dead. Interesting. Hatred is bad. It's like a cancer. It drains you. You literally feel like your soul is going down, because whenever you think about that thing that angers you, that breaks bridges, hatred in you, it sucks the life out of you. So I say, purge hatred with love, and for hatred stings the person breeding it, where love massages the soul with peace. All right, I'll wrap up by giving some few quotes about character. And I'll start one that I like so much. It says, monitor and mentor yourself with metallic humility and iron fortitude. You will need both in times when storms show up to define your character. Wow, man. These things are deep. These quotes are deep. I'm even wondering, am I the one who wrote them? Really? Man, I'm not that deep, but I don't know. Maybe I was in my moment at the time. What? Monitor and mentor yourself with metallic humility and iron fortitude. You will need both in times when storms show up to define your character. Indeed. Man, how did I even write this? This is so deep. Yes, you need to monitor and mentor yourself with metallic humility. Humility, indeed, by definition, humility is strength and power under control. I repeat that. Humility is strength and power under control. Why? Because whenever you're strong, people want to show off. I'm strong, I'm better than everyone else, I am the baddest, you know what we've been seeing. Humility and iron fortitude. You need to have fortitude. You have to have bravado. That fortitude, that strength, inner strength, that is iron, like iron, strong like iron. So it is metallic humility and iron fortitude. You will need both in times when storms show up. Storms may come and they will shake you up. And when they come to shake you up, if you're not a person of character, you will fall like a pack of cards. Trust me, you will fall in a big thud because you'll be provoked. You will be tested by these storms. Your character will be put to test. The day you owe rent is the day you'll have an opportunity. The day they leave the drawer open at office and the cash is staring at you like this, saying, come and get me. The landlord is piling pressure. There's pressure at home. You have a sick child. You need money. That's the day the accountant in office will forget the key and the drawer is open and the knots are staring at you saying, come and get me. Character is hard. That's in those moments where you need to have metallic humility and iron fortitude to say, no, I cannot touch any money that does not belong to me. Character. Men, it is said men, we love beauty and we love good things. The day you see that most beautiful woman you've been waiting for, a married man, pass there, it's like everything is saying, wow, come and get me, come and get me, I'm available. How are you going to put a speed governor on that testosterone inside you? Iron fortitude and metallic humility will become the anchor and the speed governor of your raging hormones to say, no, I am a married man, I committed, and I am a man of character. And indeed, I repeated the last time, monitor and mentor yourself with metallic humility and iron fortitude. You will need both in times when storms show up to define your character. Every human being that I've seen, I've read about, and I've read widely, by the way. When I was doing research for my first book, Out of the Crowd, I researched 100 people world over from different walks of life. I went as far as back the Middle Ages. 100 people, true story, 100 people. And I researched from philosophers, writers, sports legends, leaders, every field you can talk about. And I came across something that said that, and there's a quote that says that charisma will take you up here, but character will keep you there. Many people have been strong, they've been firm, they've done mighty exploits, but they have fallen because of character. Even in the Bible, Solomon fell because of character. The wisest man, the most pompous man that ever lived, the wealthiest man that ever lived, ever. There's nothing he didn't do that could have been done under the sun. Indeed, he says so in Exodus, there's nothing I've not done, and there's nothing new under the sun. He had a lot of gold. He made gold so common and popular, as common as stones in Israel. He did mighty exploits in his time. There's no riddle he couldn't break. There's nothing he did not do in terms of what could have been done by a human being because God gave him wisdom. But in the end, character brought him down because he forgot. He married too many wives, but indeed he forgot God because the center of measurement of his character was his faithfulness to God Almighty. He failed, and when he failed, the kingdom was split into two. Character. I can go on and on. On and on. It is a hard pill to swallow. Character failed Moses himself. Even the guy who would speak to God direct, face to face. Scripture has it on record that the only man who ever spoke to God face to face and they're having a conversation was called Moses. But character, the man failed. He was told by God, go hit the rock once out of anger, in a fit of rage, because an angry mind is a narrow mind. in a fit of rage when he found the children of Israel doing something, putting him on pressure and tension, he struck the rock twice, and God said, you have made a mistake. Character. I can go on and on and on and on about character. On and on and on, because I've researched very well about over 100 people in the Bible, different walks, music, the greatest actors, anyone that says I have really stood out of the crowd, I have touched and at least researched on them, and I can tell you their stories on and on. So I'll wrap up by giving you one more that says, without passion, you have no position. And without a position, you have no possession. Passion will take you to the position, and the position shall attract possession. Wow. Man, am I the one who wrote these words? Hey, wait a minute. When I'm reading them now, I'm like, what? These words are deep. Can I repeat that? Without passion, you have no position. And without a position, you have no possession. Man, these quotes are poetic. I didn't know they were even rhyming. Wait a minute. And it continues to say, passion will take you to the position, and the position shall attract possession. Yes, it is said without passion, because that passion is the fire in you, the energy in you, the one that is raging in your soul, in your belly, that is making you hungry, that's making you want to do things that you love to do, to go out for them, all in, all hands on deck, to say, I am going to get it. Yeah, without passion, you have no position. Indeed, without passion, without that fire of passion that is pushing you, self-driven, self-ignited, you'll never have any position in society. And without a position, you will never have possession, because the position of authenticity in your passionate endeavors is what will give you a position, number one, that people will hear what you say, respect you for what you do, and you may have to give them something of value. And indeed, once that position is got, then the rest will begin to be magnetized. The possessions will come. Passion will take you to the position, and the position shall attract possession voluntarily. Wow. Wow, wow. Grand finale on character. Passion needs a speed governor called reason. Yeah. Passion without reason can be dangerous, because it can narrow one's possibilities to reach their full potential. Indeed, indeed, indeed. I'm wondering who wrote these quotes. Am I the one who wrote these quotes? Really? Am I the one? These quotes are deep. Passion needs a speed governor. Yes, because when you're passionate, we've seen, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. The greatest people have always been passionate, but because they didn't have a speed governor on their passion, it became dangerous and enabled them self-destruct. I can give you examples, the greatest of the greatest people who are so passionate, but they didn't have a speed governor called reason. The things they did, the things they wanted to become, all the great things they wanted to do, if they didn't have a reason for goodness, then that was only a placebo. It lasted for a short period. And this quote says, for context and to ground it, passion needs a speed governor called reason. Passion without reason can be dangerous, because it can narrow one's possibilities to reach their full potential. Wow, 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 wow. This book is a gold mine. It's a book of 40 quotes, but whenever I read them myself, every single day I read them again, I'm like, wait a minute, I need to meet the person who authored these quotes. Why? Because there's depth in there. When I look through them and read and peel the layers underneath the quotes in there, I'm like, wow. I've just given you a few samples. You need to get yourself a copy. It's a free copy. You need to get yourself a free copy. You need to reach out to me or go on my website and write to me. My website is www.mwebesabooks.com. Then I'll send you a free copy. If you give me your email, I'll be able to send you a free copy of this book, and you'll enjoy it. So as we wrap up, where can one get your book? Yes, I've just mentioned you can write to me on mwebesabooks.com. Mwebesa Books. Mwebesa is spelled as MWEBESA books.com. You can also get yourself a copy on Amazon. The book has been put there under the Amazon Kindle. You can get yourself a copy there. You can also get a copy from africanbooks.com, African with an AN, books.com. Have copies in Aristoc bookstores. I also have copies at the airport, Entebbe International Airport, and the copies are at the duty-free bookstore. You can get yourself a copy there. You can also get yourself on www.rakutenkobo.com. Rakuten is spelled as R-A-K-U-T-E-N, Kobo, K-O-B-O.com. You can just go on search my name, Richard Mwebesa, or search the title Inspired by 40 and get it. You can also get copies in Kenya at Nuriat bookstores. You can also get copies from Kenya, CLC, Christian Living, Christian Literature Communication in Nairobi, and get a copy for yourself, and you'll be mightily blessed. Of course, all the places I've mentioned, you can get my other books. Out of the Crowd, The Ultimate Guide to Mastering the Art of Standing Out. It won the best among the top 6 finalists book cover under the Akaba Awards. And then this latest anthology of poems, A Feast of the Now, you can get from africanbooks.com. You can get on amazon.com as well. You can get on rakutenkobo.com. You can also get at CLC Kenya a copy, and Aristoc bookstores. I think I've mentioned that again. And of course, I'll be putting my books, all the 3 books, with, is it called Matiri? Is it matiri.com? I think so. Yes. Very soon we're still in talks to ensure that the books are there, bookstores, and you'll be able to get yourself a copy and be blessed. So I thank you so much for being with me, and I believe what I've shared maybe will impact you, or will touch your heart, or will bless you. Please be blessed. I remain Richard Mwebesa, the award-winning author and bestseller. I can just say this book, Inspired by 40, just entered the bestseller list on africanbooks.com. True story. africanbooks.com, www.africanbooks.com. And this as well, Feast of the Now, the anthology of poems, just entered the bestseller list on africanbooks.com. So I cannot forget to thank everybody who has been there with me. Of course, Felix GCC, who has been there with me, and we partnered on the project of the pictures here. I cannot forget to thank everyone who has been there for me when we are working on the books, the editors, of course, the illustrators. I may not mention all the names because there are very many people, but I do appreciate you all for your input and support. Of course, here I can't thank Pepe Minambo, my coach, who helped me, of course, discover myself that I'm an author. My first book, we worked tirelessly to ensure that we put together a masterpiece. This book is a masterpiece. Whenever I read it, I'm like, wow, 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 wow. I want to meet the person who wrote this book. I've got phone calls. People have read this book over 15 times, and they've told me, Richard, we've read your book over and over and over and again, and they've been mightily blessed. They've been inspired. They have been really, really touched. I mean, there are about 5 people who have enjoyed my books. I mean, there have been many, there have been thousands of reviews I've got online on barnesandnoble.com for my work. I've got reviews on Amazon, I've got reviews in different places. Others have called me, sent me chats and WhatsApps. But there are about five people, but I'll just tell you about 2 of them that were so profoundly impacting to me. There's a gentleman called Joseph who had lost his hope, and is an aviator, was studying, he had not got fees to finish his course. But when he read this first book, Out of the Crowd, it transformed his life and gave him hope again to dream again. And of course, he went back and went to school and finished his course and graduated recently. When he graduated, he said, Richard, when I read your book, it gave me hope again to believe that I could achieve what I desired to achieve. He sent me photos on his graduation day, and I was like, wow, I'm so glad that this book touched life. And the second person is a colleague who we work with. He was attacked by goons. I won't mention the name for private reasons. He was attacked and was almost dead. He was hit on the head. He underwent a surgery on the brain, and thank God he survived. So during that time when he was recovering, he read this book, Out of the Crowd. and it ignited a fire in him to start a channel, YouTube channel, and of course now he's working on a television where he's promoting and chasing his dream. So this book ignited him and to give him hope to recover quickly, and it gave him a new ray of hope to be transformed. I can talk on and on. This book, wow, man, the poems in here are Feast of the Nile are fresh. I just got an AI review, artificial intelligence review from poetrybooks.com of the lead poem in here, poem number 12 of Feast of the Nile. Very powerful poem, talks about the beauty of about our Nile River, and of course as a flower it is, and the beauty of Uganda, and how and who we are as people who are lovable, people who are kind, people who are generous, and people who always look out for others, not for them, for their own selves. And very powerful poem, and very many poems in here. There are 49 poems in here that are very fresh and authentic. I can't say I have a favorite because all of them are unique in their own way. This is a book, just a chap book, small volume, but has illustrations. Here we partnered with a professional painter. This is the lead poem, Feast of the Nile. Very powerful poem. You should get yourself a copy of the book. Very nice, profound, solid, authentic poetry. Very powerful book. And the poems that are in here are words that will ignite a new identity. I mean, it will take you on an adventure to dream again, to believe in yourself. And what does it do? It shines light on beauty in dark places through poetry. Of course, the poems are able to teach and encourage the reader to always look underneath. The reader is reminded that in the middle of danger, it is never all gone. They are reminded to still themselves and hold on the inner life, for the outer life may have more. And experiencing the poem, the reader is ultimately reminded that we hold the dearness and light of living in our thoughts. This is also a book that I started writing during lockdown. I mean, we had a lot of time in lockdown, so I used that time to write. Yeah, so I started writing it, but I finished it this year. It took me 2 years to complete. Poetry is hard. I can tell you, poetry is hard. I would rather write. Poetry is really hard because you have to frame a lot in the poetic devices. You have to put metaphor, you have to put similes, you have to use the lines of rhyme, you have to use meter, you have to use prose, you have to use verse, you have to work out the syntax, you have to use diction. Let me not bore you with those poetic mechanics. But poetry is really hard. Hey, by the time you say what you want to say in simplicity so that someone understands you when they read it, you must have done a lot of work. So ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for being with me. Today I was giving you highlights about Inspired by 40, though I also gave you partly a touch of what these other books talk about. All I can say, I cannot forget to thank God. I cannot forget to thank God, my creator. Everything I am, everything I've been, everything I'll ever be is because God made me in his image and made me who I am. I cannot forget to thank my Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. I cannot forget to thank the Holy Spirit for his counsel and guidance. I cannot forget to thank everyone who stood with me. Of course, my pastor, Bibiana Wangari, who has been encouraging me and saying, please do what you have to do, go for it. I can't forget to thank my wife, Joan. She's always been there with me, sleepless nights when I'm working, yes, on all these projects. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but I would like to also thank so much more from the bottom of my heart, Humura Homes. Yes, Humura Homes are the ones who've given us this space that we are recording this session. I would like to thank Doreen and the team at Humura Homes. What does Humura Homes do? They are a B&B service. They provide a very nice, clean, authentic space for anyone who wants to rent their apartment. In case you have a few days you want to do something in town, you can reach out to Humura Homes, and you can check them online. Just Google Humura Homes in Kungu, and you'll come over, of course, and enjoy. This place is very neat, very nice ambience, very nice lighting, very nice space. It's a place that indeed when you interface with them, you'll enjoy yourselves. So I thank you all so much for being with us today. I cannot forget to say it's been a pleasure. The pleasure is all mine that we have worked together, that we have been together today, and that you have tuned in for us to share with you about Out of the Crowd, Inspired by 40, and Feast of the Nile, but most importantly, share with you about Inspired by 40, the review we've done. God willing, we'll come back and share more, the backstories about the content in the book. There's a lot more that I have in store that is coming up. There are new projects I'm working on. Of course, right now I'm promoting my latest book, Feast of the Nile, the anthology of poems. We'll be doing in the future some poetry reading sessions where we get different people who come in a space and then take coffee and enjoy. Of course, people may ask, dogs, books, and coffee. Yes, this is a jumper. I love dogs. Yes, I love books, and I love coffee. Yeah, so all I will say is thanks so much. I appreciate you all. Thank you a million times for tuning in. Until we meet again. Well, this book will never leave you the same once you enjoy it. So just got a little more information about Humura Homes. They have good rates, so you can always talk to them. And in case you need to have a nice evening for yourself, so you can reach them out on their numbers 0751 456 842. I repeat, you can get Humura Homes on 0751 456 842 and get yourself a booking of this lovely space, and you will not regret it. You'll enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye.